The vast emptiness of space had always been a stage for humanity's perpetual humiliation. For generations, Earth's representatives had endured the most excruciating diplomatic encounters, where alien civilizations treated human achievements with nothing more than condescending chuckles and barely concealed derision. The United Earth Exploration Court had become accustomed to being the cosmic punchline. During the Interstellar Diplomatic Conference held on the neutral asteroid station Nexus 9, human delegates would sit through hours of subtle mockery, their technological achievements dismissed as primitive and insignificant. Commander Daniel Wright remembered the last such conference vividly. The Crolian ambassador, a towering crystalline being with multiple refraction points instead of a traditional body, had spent nearly 3 standard hours explaining why human space exploration was equivalent to cave dwellers attempting to navigate ocean currents with wooden paddles. The Quantum Collective, a hyper-advanced civilization consisting of interconnected quantum consciousness, had been even more brutal. Their representative, a shimmering energy matrix that could simultaneously exist in multiple states, had mathematically calculated and presented a comprehensive report demonstrating humanity's technological inferiority. Your species represents a 0.03% probability of meaningful galactic contribution, the Quantum Collective's matrix had proclaimed, its voice a blend of mathematical precision and emotional detachment. Your current technological state is approximately 247 generations behind the minimum standard of interstellar competence. Most human delegates would have felt defeated, but not Daniel Wright. Behind his calm exterior, a storm of determination was brewing. He had heard these insults countless times, and each dismissive comment only fueled his resolve to prove them wrong. The research facilities back on Earth were already working on something extraordinary. Deep within the secured laboratories of the Advanced Propulsion Research Center, a team of brilliant scientists was developing a technology that would fundamentally challenge everything these advanced civilizations believed about human potential. Dr. Michael Reed, the lead scientist of the project, understood that humanity's greatest strength was not raw technological power, but its ability to innovate against seemingly impossible odds. While other civilizations had reached technological plateaus, humans continued to push boundaries, driven by an insatiable curiosity and an innate ability to reimagine the impossible. The current project was unlike anything humanity had ever attempted. They weren't just trying to create a better spaceship or develop a more efficient propulsion system. They were attempting to manipulate dimensional structures themselves, a concept so advanced that most alien civilizations considered it pure theoretical fantasy. Reed's team had discovered subtle quantum mechanical principles that suggested the existence of manipulatable dimensional layers beyond the conventional understanding of spacetime. If their calculations were correct, they could potentially create a vessel that could traverse not just space, but entire dimensional planes. Wright knew that if successful, this project would transform humanity's standing in the galactic community. No longer would they be viewed as technological infants. They would become pioneers of a new understanding of universal mechanics. The mockery had gone on long enough. Humanity had been patient, absorbing criticism and continuing to develop its technologies quietly. Now they were ready to demonstrate that being underestimated was sometimes the greatest strategic advantage. In the sterile, white laboratories of the research center, complex mathematical equations danced across holographic displays. Quantum entanglement models, dimensional probability matrices, and intricate engineering schematics represented humanity's silent rebellion against galactic prejudice. Dr. Reed looked up from his calculations, a slight smile crossing his face. The alien civilizations had no idea what was coming. They had laughed, dismissed, and belittled humanity for generations. Soon, they would understand that laughter could quickly transform into stunned silence. The seventh dimensional vessel was more than a technological marvel. It was a statement, a declaration that humanity would not be constrained by the limitations others imposed upon them. It was proof that innovation knew no boundaries, and that true potential could never be measured by current capabilities, but by the audacity to imagine beyond them. Space watched, the galaxy waited, and humanity prepared to rewrite the rules of existence. The research center hummed with an electric anticipation. Dr. Michael Reed stood before a massive holographic projection, his fingers tracing complex quantum equations that seemed to dance and shift with a living energy. Years of research, countless failed experiments, and relentless determination had led to this moment. Quantum mechanics had always been humanity's playground of possibility. Where other civilizations saw rigid physical laws, humans saw flexible boundaries waiting to be challenged. Reed's team had discovered something extraordinary, a method to manipulate dimensional structures that defied conventional understanding. The breakthrough came from an unexpected intersection of theoretical physics and advanced computational modeling. Traditional quantum research had always approached dimensional theory as a passive observation. Reed's approach was fundamentally different. He didn't want to observe the dimensions, he wanted to interact with them. Deep within the laboratory's most secure section, prototypes of experimental equipment surrounded sophisticated quantum generators. Massive cooling systems maintained temperatures just a fraction above absolute zero, creating an environment where quantum fluctuations could be precisely monitored and potentially manipulated. Reed remembered the exact moment of discovery. It wasn't a dramatic explosion or a sudden eureka moment. Instead, it was a subtle anomaly in their computational models, a tiny mathematical inconsistency that most researchers would have dismissed as a computational error. But Reed saw something more. The anomaly suggested that dimensions were not fixed structures but flexible membranes that could be potentially navigated, much like a skilled sailor might navigate complex ocean currents. Traditional space travel relied on moving through space. Reed's theory proposed moving through the very fabric of reality itself. His team worked in complete secrecy. The United Earth Exploration Corps understood that if their research succeeded, it would fundamentally transform humanity's position in the galactic hierarchy. No longer would they be considered technological underdogs. They would become pioneers of a new understanding of universal mechanics. Computational simulations became increasingly complex. Each model required petabytes of data and weeks of processing time. Quantum computers worked continuously, running millions of potential scenarios, searching for the precise mathematical key that would unlock dimensional navigation. The first successful prototype was deceptively simple in appearance. A small metallic sphere, barely larger than a human fist, contained more computational power and quantum manipulation technology than entire planetary research facilities. Its surface was a complex array of microscopic quantum sensors and dimensional interface points. Initial tests were conducted with robotic systems. Small mechanical probes were sent through carefully controlled quantum fields, measuring their dimensional interactions. Most tests failed spectacularly. Probes would disappear, return partially destroyed, or simply cease to exist in any measurable state. But each failure provided more data. Reed's team meticulously analyzed every result, refining their understanding of dimensional mechanics. They weren't just conducting scientific research. They were rewriting the fundamental understanding of universal physics. Commander Daniel Wright provided consistent support, understanding the project's potential strategic implications. Military application wasn't the primary goal, but he recognized that dimensional navigation could revolutionize space exploration, communication, and potentially defensive technologies. The global scientific community remained unaware of the project's true scope. Carefully managed press releases suggested incremental research in quantum mechanics, maintaining the illusion of standard scientific progression. The truth was far more revolutionary. As computational models became more sophisticated, the team began to understand the true potential of their research. Dimensional navigation wasn't just about moving through space. It was about understanding reality as a malleable construct that could be potentially reshaped and redirected. Reed's final breakthrough came from an unexpected source, a complex algorithm developed by combining principles from quantum mechanics, theoretical mathematics, and surprisingly, pattern recognition techniques used in artificial intelligence research. The algorithm suggested that dimensions were not separate entities, but interconnected layers of a complex universal tapestry. By understanding the mathematical language of these connections, navigation became theoretically possible. The seventh-dimensional vessel was no longer just a theoretical concept. It was becoming a tangible reality, a testament to human innovation and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The galaxy had laughed at humanity's technological capabilities. They would not be laughing much longer. The test day arrived with an unusual stillness. Massive blast doors sealed the primary launch chamber, isolating the experimental vessel from the outside world. Commander Daniel Wright stood at the observation platform, his eyes fixed on the metallic sphere that represented humanity's most ambitious technological achievement. Dr. Michael Reed checked the final computational calculations. Hundreds of sensors monitored every microscopic detail of the vessel's quantum signature. The team knew that this test could either validate years of research or reduce their dreams to subatomic particles. The vessel looked deceptively simple, a perfect metallic sphere approximately 3 meters in diameter. Its surface was covered with intricate quantum interface nodes that seemed to shimmer and pulse with an almost living energy. Traditional spacecraft looked bulky and mechanical. This vessel appeared more like a mathematical concept given physical form. Communication systems were prepared in multiple dimensional frequencies. If the calculations were correct, the vessel could potentially communicate across dimensional barriers that had previously been considered impenetrable. Standard radio waves would seem primitive compared to this technology. Commander Wright understood the stakes. This wasn't just a scientific experiment. It was humanity's opportunity to prove its technological capability to a galaxy it had consistently underestimated human potential. Every alien civilization that had mocked humanity's technological progress would be watching, albeit unknowingly. The launch sequence began with absolute precision. Quantum generators ramped up, creating complex energy fields that seemed to bend and twist reality around the vessel. Computational systems monitored dimensional stress points, ready to abort the mission at the slightest unexpected deviation. Dr. Reed's voice remained calm as he initiated the primary sequence. Dimensional navigation systems online. Quantum stabilization at 98.7%. Initiating first phase dimensional transition. The vessel began to change. Its metallic surface started shifting, not physically moving but seemingly existing in multiple states simultaneously. Observers would later describe it as watching something simultaneously present and absent, a concept that challenged traditional visual perception. Massive energy readings spiked across multiple monitoring systems. The vessel wasn't just moving through space, it was navigating through dimensional layers that had previously been theoretical concepts. Quantum entanglement algorithms worked in perfect synchronization, creating a navigation system that defied conventional physics. 3 minutes into the test, something extraordinary happened. The vessel disappeared from all standard tracking systems. No radiation signature, no mechanical trace, nothing. It had effectively ceased to exist in conventional dimensional space. Panic could have been a natural response. But Wright and Reed had anticipated this possibility. Their computational models had predicted potential dimensional shifts that would render traditional monitoring impossible. 12 minutes passed, then 20. The observation team remained focused, their training preventing any emotional outburst. This was humanity's most significant technological test. Composure was essential. At precisely 27 minutes and 43 seconds, the vessel reappeared. But it wasn't the same. Subtle changes in its quantum signature suggested it had experienced something beyond human comprehension. Sensors indicated it had potentially traversed multiple dimensional layers in what seemed like moments. Dimensional transition complete, Dr. Reed announced, his voice maintaining professional composure despite the groundbreaking nature of the achievement. All systems operational. Quantum integrity at 99.2%. Commander Wright allowed himself a small smile. The alien civilizations that had mocked humanity would soon understand that technological capability was not about current achievements, but about the audacity to imagine beyond existing limitations. The first test was successful. Humanity had just taken its first step into a larger, more complex understanding of universal mechanics. The seventh-dimensional vessel was no longer a theoretical concept. It was a reality that would change everything. The Galactic Council Chamber was a massive crystalline structure located on the neutral asteroid station Nexus 9. Representatives from over 127 advanced civilizations occupied intricate hovering platforms, their various biological forms creating a kaleidoscope of alien configurations. When the human communication request arrived, most delegates initially assumed it was another routine diplomatic transmission. The Crolian representative, a towering crystalline being with prismatic edges, let out a dismissive energy pulse that translated to something between a chuckle and a mechanical snort. Commander Daniel Wright and Dr. Michael Reed stood at the human delegation platform. Their presentation would be simultaneously transmitted across quantum communication channels, ensuring every civilization could witness what was about to unfold. Distinguished representatives, Wright began, his voice calm and measured. Humanity has a technological demonstration that will fundamentally alter our current understanding of dimensional navigation. The initial response was predictable. Soft waves of electronic laughter rippled through the chamber. The Quantum Collective's representative, a shimmering energy matrix, projected mathematical probability models suggesting a 99.7% chance that the human demonstration would be technologically irrelevant. Dr. Reed activated the holographic display. Instead of traditional graphical representations, the projection began showing quantum mathematical equations that seemed to dance and transform. Even the most advanced alien civilizations found themselves momentarily transfixed. The first indication that something extraordinary was happening came when the holographic equations started manifesting three-dimensional quantum structures. These weren't just mathematical representations. They were living, dynamic dimensional mappings that seemed to breathe with an unexplainable energy. The Zorn Collective, known for their hyper-advanced computational abilities, suddenly went silent. Their 1,000 neural network consciousness detected something unprecedented in the mathematical language being demonstrated. Wright's presentation wasn't just a technical explanation. It was a systematic deconstruction of existing dimensional theory. He showed how humanity had discovered quantum navigation principles that transformed dimensional barriers from immutable walls into flexible membranes that could be potentially traversed. Our seventh dimensional vessel, Wright continued, can simultaneously exist in multiple dimensional states, rendering traditional defensive and offensive technologies completely ineffective. The chamber's ambient energy shifted. What had started as mockery was transforming into a mixture of disbelief, curiosity, and growing respect. Dr. Reed then initiated the most critical part of the demonstration. Using a small quantum transmission device, he began showing recorded footage from the vessel's first dimensional test. The recording defied conventional visual understanding. The vessel appeared and disappeared, existing in multiple states simultaneously. The Crolian representative's crystalline structure began vibrating with an unusual frequency, a biological indication of shock. The Quantum Collective's energy matrix started recalculating probabilities at exponential speeds. This technology challenges every existing understanding of dimensional mechanics, Reed explained. We are not just proposing a new form of space travel. We are suggesting that dimensions are navigable spaces that can be understood and potentially manipulated. Diplomatic protocols dissolved. Representatives who moments ago were laughing now leaned forward, their various sensory appendages focused entirely on the human demonstration. The human delegation had come prepared. Alongside the technological demonstration, they presented comprehensive research documents that methodically explained their quantum breakthrough. These weren't just claims. They were backed by rigorous scientific methodology that even the most advanced civilizations found challenging to dismiss. Commander Wright's final statement was delivered with a quiet confidence that resonated through the chamber. Humanity is no longer asking for recognition. We are presenting a new paradigm of technological understanding. The Galactic Council chamber remained silent. The laughter had stopped. And something profound was about to change in the universe's technological landscape. Humanity had just rewritten the rules of existence. The public demonstration was scheduled on the Neutral Planetary Research Station Omega-12, a massive orbital complex designed for intercivilizational technological exhibitions. Representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations gathered, their expectations a mixture of skepticism and barely concealed condescension. Dr. Michael Reed and Commander Daniel Wright had meticulously planned every detail of the demonstration. The seventh dimensional vessel, now officially named Reality Breaker, sat at the center of a massive quantum-shielded exhibition arena. Its metallic surface seemed to pulse with an energy that defied conventional understanding. Quantum sensors from multiple civilizations were calibrated to monitor every microscopic detail of the vessel's performance. The Zorn Collective had deployed their most advanced computational networks, expecting to mathematically deconstruct and dismiss human claims. The first demonstration began with weapon neutralization tests. Traditional high-energy plasma cannons, quantum disruptors, and gravitational compression weapons were aimed at the vessel. Each weapon represented the most advanced offensive technologies from different galactic civilizations. As the weapons fired, something extraordinary happened. The Reality Breaker didn't simply deflect or absorb the attacks. It seemed to exist simultaneously in multiple dimensional states, making the incoming weapons pass through it without causing any impact. Where conventional shields would have shown energy absorption or deflection, this vessel simply rendered the attacks meaningless. The Crolian representative's crystalline structure began vibrating with increasing intensity, a biological indication of profound shock. Computational models suggested the vessel was not just avoiding weapons, but fundamentally altering the probability of their existence. Dr. Reed's explanation was both simple and revolutionary. "We're not blocking weapons," he stated. "We're mathematically rewriting the dimensional parameters of their potential impact." The second demonstration focused on matter phasing. The vessel was placed next to a series of progressively denser materials, from simple titanium alloys to quantum-locked molecular structures. Observers expected a standard penetration test. Instead, the Reality Breaker began moving through these materials as if they were nothing more than ethereal mist. It didn't break or cut through the materials. It simply existed in a state where physical barriers became irrelevant. Solid matter became as permeable as air, challenging every known physical law. Quantum probability manipulation became the third demonstration. The vessel began generating computational scenarios that seemed to actively influence potential outcomes. It wasn't predicting probabilities. It was actively reshaping them. A complex holographic display showed how the vessel could simultaneously explore multiple potential dimensional outcomes. Where conventional navigation systems would choose one path, the Reality Breaker explored hundreds of potential realities simultaneously. Commander Wright understood the strategic implications. This wasn't just a technological achievement. It was a fundamental reimagining of how reality could be understood and navigated. The most advanced alien civilizations found themselves stunned into silence. The Quantum Collective's representative, typically a bastion of mathematical certainty, found its computational models completely inadequate in explaining the vessel's capabilities. Each demonstration systematically dismantled existing technological understanding. The Reality Breaker wasn't just a spacecraft. It was a living mathematical concept that challenged the very foundations of physical existence. Dr. Reed's final statement resonated through the exhibition hall. "Humanity doesn't seek conquest," he explained. "We seek to expand the boundaries of what's possible." The demonstration lasted 3 hours. By its conclusion, the mockery that had defined interspecies relations for generations had completely evaporated. What remained was a profound, almost reverential silence. The galaxy had expected another human technological presentation. Instead, they had witnessed a complete transformation of technological understanding. Humanity had just revealed that the universe was far more flexible than anyone had imagined. and they were just getting started. The aftermath of the technological demonstration rippled through galactic diplomatic channels like a quantum shockwave. Humanity's seventh-dimensional vessel had done more than demonstrate technological capability. It had fundamentally restructured the power dynamics of interspecies relationships. Diplomatic meetings that once began with condescending laughter now started with a newfound respect. The United Earth Exploration Corps found themselves no longer sitting at the margins of galactic discussions, but at the center of strategic conversations. Commander Daniel Wright understood that true power wasn't about military conquest, but about reshaping perceptions. The reality breaker was not a weapon of destruction, but a tool of diplomatic transformation. It represented humanity's ability to innovate beyond expected limitations. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session to discuss the implications of human dimensional technology. Representatives from 127 different civilizations attempted to comprehend a technological breakthrough that challenged everything they understood about physics and navigation. The Crowleyan diplomatic matrix, which had previously mocked human capabilities, now requested detailed scientific exchanges. Their crystalline communication networks buzzed with analyses of the dimensional navigation principles demonstrated by the human team. Dr. Michael Reed became an unexpected diplomatic icon. His presentations weren't just scientific explanations. They were philosophical discussions about the nature of technological evolution. He consistently emphasized that humanity's breakthrough wasn't about superiority, but about collective scientific progress. Technological trade negotiations shifted dramatically. Civilizations that had previously refused significant technological exchanges with humans now eagerly sought collaborative research agreements. The reality breaker had become more than a spacecraft. It was a diplomatic passport to galactic respect. Strategic military alliances began reforming. The dimensional navigation technology suggested possibilities far beyond traditional defensive capabilities. Civilizations recognized that partnering with humans could provide unprecedented strategic advantages. The Quantum Collective, known for their hyper-advanced computational abilities, initiated the first comprehensive research collaboration with human scientists. Their energy matrix representatives noted that human innovation represented a unique approach to problem-solving that their own civilization had gradually lost. Planetary research stations began hosting joint human-alien research programs. Where previous collaborations had been limited and superficial, these new initiatives promised fundamental transformations in scientific understanding. Economic systems also underwent rapid transformation. Technological markets that had previously marginalized human innovations now sought human computational and engineering expertise. Patents related to dimensional navigation became the most valuable intellectual properties in the galaxy. Commander Wright recognized the delicate balance required. The goal wasn't to dominate, but to collaborate. Each diplomatic interaction was carefully managed to demonstrate that humanity's technological leap was about expanding collective knowledge, not establishing technological hegemony. Dr. Reed's team continued refining the dimensional navigation principles. Each breakthrough was carefully shared through diplomatic channels, maintaining transparency and encouraging collaborative scientific progress. The United Earth Exploration Corps developed a new diplomatic strategy. Instead of demanding recognition, they consistently positioned themselves as partners in collective galactic development. The reality breaker became a symbol of potential rather than a threat. Alien civilizations that had spent generations believing humans were technologically irrelevant now found themselves reassessing centuries of prejudice. The mockery that had defined interspecies relations was replaced by genuine curiosity and respect. Educational institutions across multiple planetary systems began incorporating human scientific methodologies into their core curricula. The approach to innovation that had produced the seventh dimensional vessel was now being studied as a revolutionary model of technological thinking. Commander Wright often reflected on the journey. From being the cosmic punchline to becoming a respected technological innovator, humanity had transformed its galactic standing through relentless innovation and a commitment to collaborative progress. The laughter had stopped, and a new era of galactic understanding had begun. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy through force. They had transformed it through imagination. The transformation was neither sudden nor violent. It was a subtle, profound shift that rewrote the fundamental understanding of humanity's place in the universe. The seventh-dimensional vessel had become more than a technological marvel. It was a symbol of human potential that resonated across countless civilizations. United Earth Exploration Corps headquarters buzzed with a new energy. Where once there had been uncertainty and marginalization, now there was a sense of profound purpose. Commander Daniel Wright walked through the corridors, watching scientists and diplomats working with a collective vision that transcended previous limitations. Dr. Michael Reed continued leading the dimensional navigation research. Each breakthrough wasn't just a scientific achievement, but a diplomatic opportunity. The reality breaker had opened doors that seemed impossible just years before. Collaborative research stations now dotted multiple star systems, with human scientists working alongside representatives from civilizations that had once mocked their capabilities. The Galactic Council meetings transformed dramatically. Where diplomatic interactions were once characterized by condescension, they now featured genuine collaborative discussions. Alien civilizations recognized that human innovation represented something uniquely powerful, an ability to challenge existing paradigms and reimagine possibilities. Technological exchanges became the new currency of interspecies relationships. The dimensional navigation principles discovered by humanity provided insights that revolutionized multiple scientific disciplines. Star mapping, communication technologies, defensive systems, all underwent fundamental transformations. The quantum collective, once the most dismissive of human potential, now actively sought collaborative research opportunities. Their complex energy matrices found human computational approaches fascinatingly unpredictable and innovative. What they had previously considered chaotic, they now recognized as a sophisticated form of adaptive thinking. Economic systems across multiple planetary networks underwent radical restructuring. Human technologies became valued not just for their practical applications, but for their potential to challenge existing technological understanding. Research grants, technological patents, and interspecies collaboration reached unprecedented levels. Commander Wright understood that true power wasn't about domination, but about expanding collective knowledge. The reality breaker was positioned as a tool of exploration and understanding, not a weapon of conquest. Each diplomatic interaction was carefully managed to demonstrate humanity's commitment to collaborative progress. Educational institutions across the galaxy began incorporating human scientific methodologies. The approach that had produced the seventh-dimensional vessel was studied as a revolutionary model of technological innovation. Students from multiple civilizations learned about human creativity, adaptability, and the power of challenging existing limitations. Dr. Reed's team continued pushing boundaries. They weren't satisfied with their current achievements. Each breakthrough in dimensional navigation opened new philosophical and scientific questions about the nature of reality itself. The vessel had become a living research platform that continuously challenged existing understanding. The United Earth Exploration Corps evolved from a traditional space exploration organization to a multidimensional diplomatic and scientific institution. Their mandate expanded beyond exploration to become facilitators of collective galactic progress. Planetary defense strategies were reimagined. The dimensional navigation technology suggested possibilities that went far beyond traditional military concepts. Conflict prevention became more important than conflict management, as civilizations recognized the potential for collaborative problem-solving. Diplomatic protocols transformed. Human representatives were no longer seen as junior participants, but as critical innovators who could provide unique perspectives. The mockery that had defined previous interactions was completely replaced by genuine respect and curiosity. Commander Wright often reflected on the journey. From being relegated to the margins of galactic discussions to becoming central innovators, humanity had transformed its standing through a combination of relentless innovation, philosophical openness, and a commitment to collaborative progress. The seventh-dimensional vessel represented more than a technological achievement. It was a statement about human potential, a declaration that innovation knows no boundaries, and that true progress comes from the audacity to imagine beyond existing limitations. The laughter that had once echoed through galactic halls had been replaced by a profound, humbled silence. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy through force or aggression. They had transformed it through imagination, and the universe would never be the same again.